A few weeks ago, a Czech midfielder named Pavel Schulz got his shirt yanked during a World Cup match, and for about 2 seconds the internet was convinced he was wearing a bra. Not a compression shirt, not padding, a bra. My American roommate sent me the clip with 3 question marks and no context, like I was supposed to have an explanation ready. I did not. But here's what that clip actually revealed, and what most people still don't understand about it. Every single player at this World Cup is wearing a tracking device, and it has nothing to do with fashion. The garment itself is empty. It's just fabric. Its entire job is to hold a small unit in place between the player's shoulder blades, snug against the upper back. That's the part nobody explains. The vest isn't the technology. It's a pocket. The actual device sitting inside it is doing the work, and it is doing a lot more than counting steps. Inside that little unit, a GPS chip pinging satellites to track exact position on the field. An accelerometer logging every burst of speed and every sudden stop. And a heart rate sensor reading how hard the body is actually working versus how hard it looks like it's working. Put together, coaches get a full readout, total distance covered, top speed, number of sprints, how much high-intensity running happened in each half, and how close a player is to breaking down physically before it happens. I grew up watching Werder Bremen lose in increasingly creative ways, and even at that level half the squad wore these things in training. I assumed it was some kind of heart monitor for guys who ate too much currywurst before matches. It is not that. It is closer to a full-body surveillance system that your own team installs on you voluntarily, which is a sentence that should bother people more than it does. Here's the part that separates this World Cup from everyone before it. England's performance staff is now running a live version of this, not just recording data to review after the match, but pulling it up on a dashboard in real time during play. High-speed running thresholds. Sprint counts fatigue indicators updating minute by minute while the game is still going, which means somewhere in a staff room right now a sports scientist is watching a number tick upward and deciding whether to sub a player off before that player has any idea he's tired. Americans find this insane for reasons that have nothing to do with soccer. In most American sports, tracking a guy's body like this mid-competition would trigger a players' union meeting. In soccer, it's just Tuesday. Nobody signed a waiver about it going viral. It's baked into the sport, the same way shin guards are. Mandatory, invisible, and completely unremarkable to anyone who grew up around. And the reason it lives on the chest instead of the wrist is not random either. A wristband would bounce, twist, and fall off during a sprint or a tackle. The upper back sits close to the body's center of mass, so the readings stay accurate through contact, direction changes, and 90 minutes of players falling over dramatically for reasons that may or may not be injuries. So the actual answer to why does that guy look like he's wearing a bra is he's not. He's wearing a portable lab that knows his sprint count better than he does, reporting to a staff member who has opinions about his hamstrings. The shirt just happens to be the wrong shape for that job, which is how we all ended up here staring at a Czech midfielder's chest like it owed us an explanation. None of this changes how the match ends. It just means that somewhere behind the bench, someone already knew he was gassed 4 minutes before he did. There's also a consumer version of this now, which is its own small tragedy. You can buy a version of the same vest, strap it on for your Sunday league match, and get a report afterward telling you exactly how far you ran and how much of that running was actually necessary. I don't recommend it unless you enjoy data confirming what your knees already told you for free. The pros need this because their bodies are assets, being managed across a 10-month season. The rest of us are just out there trying to survive 5-a-side, without a device to make it official. Speaking of things that quietly track more than you'd expect, that's basically what today's sponsor does too, except with your spending instead of your sprint count.